What's up, my friends in film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time. Dude, it's been a good year for the horror thriller. There's been some really bright spots in the last year, really the last couple of years, for some of these lower budget, more independently shot horror movies and thriller movies, and this movie is no different. Definitely a good one to talk about tonight, and I'm glad to have here with me my two friends that are experts in this particular genre of filmmaking. Starting with my hero life mate, Jeremy. What's up, brother?
Yep, nature is finally healing, because I think the top earning movies so far this year, ironically enough, have been horror thrillers or some sort of adjacent there too, and original movies. So you get a 2-for-1 special on that. So it's nice to see that movies like these are absolutely kicking the box office's ass right now. So you love to see it.
And of course, the shape of the Lone Star State, my man Tex. What's up, brother?
Well, to piggyback off of what Mr. Graham just said, not only is nature healing, but it is also the most wonderful time of the year because shit like this is available in stores now. Go buy Halloween stuff, people. It's awesome. So, this is the time of year where What's that?
Your Halloween before I got on here. It finally opened in our town.
So I haven't got to go yet. Now I put a list together 2 weeks ago of shit I'm going to buy. I just don't have the money to buy it yet. So we're saving. Once we go there, I'll be broke for a while. So, thoughts and prayers to my wallet because it's going to be sore for a bit. So, but what's up, everybody? Glad to be back.
Yeah. R.I.P. to Texas retirement plan. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, there is no retirement plan. Dude, we're all working till we die. You watch the news. Come on, man. You know what's going
on. But yes, we are here. I didn't bring my show notes. I guess I should bring those up. It's kind of a necessary thing for what we do here. Talk about movies, not have my notes for my movie in front of me. So Frank's getting this started off on the wrong foot already. Speaking of getting everything started off on the wrong foot, guess it was here an hour and a half ago. Because, he can't.
I really considered just like deleting his fucking comment or hiding it just to be an asshole, but I was like, no, I'll let him have his moment.
The guy that.
You know why? He admitted to paying for his subscribers. Now, congratulations for getting 2,000 subscribers, Casey. Congratulations. Except that you openly admitted that you bought subscribers. You were
so
on, Alex the Garden.
Can we put an asterisk next to his 1,000 subscribers?
You know what I want? I want him to try to.
We got ours genuinely. That's what's the difference.
I want him to try to monetize. So, because when you monetize, they dig through all your shit, and what's going to happen is you're like, oh, wait a minute, there's some clear evidence that you bought subscribers. Kill the channel. Chop right off the internet. So, but
assuming
the good thing is that he might have 1,000 subscribers, but he's got 20 hours of watch time in the last year.
So assuming that his channel doesn't die anytime soon, Casey and I will be. He wants me to reaction review something with him wrestling. I'm not sure what it is, but we're going to try to do it tomorrow or something. So keep eyes on that. But we'll see how that goes. Whatever.
But so let's get right down to business now. We are here. God, can I click on the right thing just one time? Having a day here. We are talking about Weapons. Weapons is the 2025 American mystery horror film, written, co-produced, and directed by Zach Cregger. The film stars Josh Brolin, Julia Gardner, Alden Ehrenreich, Austin Abrams, Cary Christopher, Benedict Wong, and Amy Madigan. Its plot follows the seemingly inexplicable case of 17 children from the same classroom who mysteriously run away on the same night, having been apparently abducted by an unseen force. Weapons was released in the United States by Warner Brothers Pictures on August 8th of 2025. The film received positive reviews and has grossed, as to date, $71.8 million worldwide against a budget of just $38 million, so it's probably hitting profitability by now. On Rotten Tomatoes, 94% of 253 critics' reviews are positive, with the website's consensus review reading, quote, Zach Cregger spins an expertly crafted yarn of terrifying mystery and thrilling intrigue in Weapons, a sophomore triumph that solidifies his status as a master of horror. I thought the movie was wonderful, but let me get your guys' quick thoughts on it before we get into the spoiler talk. I'll start with you, Jeremy.
Yeah, this one, it intrigued me, at least. It didn't give, I guess, really too much away in the trailer. It kept it kind of vague, but just the premise alone draws you in because you're like, okay. So, I mean, the thing was that if you've seen the trailer, you've seen like the first like 5 minutes of the movie. I'm like, okay, so are we gonna explain this now? And I was thoroughly surprised with its kind of Pulp Fiction style of like editing, taking it from different points of view from people in the town, and how this whole one really weird, unexplainable event has affected each of these people, from the teacher to one of the fathers of the kids, to the principal, to your weird aunt that you should never invite to any family function ever, which will make sense if you've seen the movie, or we'll get into that. But yeah, even people like us that are pretty jaded with this kind of thing, I'm like, it still kind of had a really unsettling vibe. Like I don't remember off the top of my head who played the weird aunt, but my god, she was given really creepy vibes, like just with her performance and her just deadpan delivery to this kid, while keeping his parents on like puppet strings, metaphorically speaking. Yeah, it was a fun movie. I actually kind of enjoyed this one.
Tex, how about you? Give me your quick thoughts on the film.
Yeah, this one was definitely on my top list of most anticipated, just based off of the trailer footage that we saw. Yeah, and like Jeremy said, the trailer gives you enough to get you excited. Well, for so many movies these days, if you watch the trailer, you've seen the film. Not with this one. You, like you said, you've seen the first part of a plot. You don't even really know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But when it comes to mood and atmosphere in a film, this is one of the best ones that I've seen this year. It's chock full of it. But I didn't really know what to expect. I only watched the first trailer, and then I went dark, and then I walked in. Now, I was a little more disappointed with this one than I think everybody else was, from the way it seemed. But there's a lot of good here, and I'm looking forward to breaking it down and talking about it. And now I think the plot section that we talk about here is going to be fun, because I think that's where the biggest issues are. But it was a fun film to watch.
Yeah, I've got plenty to say about the plot and the cast of this film, but overall, look, it's a fantastic movie from start to finish. I have a few gripes about it. I'll get deeper into that as we go on with the the plot section. But I love movies that blend horror, mystery, thriller, because I was racking my brain to the first part of this movie trying to figure out exactly what was going on here. It wasn't completely evident in the first half of the film, because that's usually where a lot of movies like this go wrong, is they make the bad guy or the force, whatever is doing the evil in the film, they kind of make it a little too obvious sometimes. They did keep this one kind of under wraps till later, so you can't really start to put things together until you're kind of balls deep into this movie. Now, anybody with two brain cells to rub together does kind of put together who's responsible. It's just the why and the how and stuff like that you have to kind of figure out as the story goes on. But I mean, the acting in this movie was fantastic. The cast was superb. The pacing of the movie at times, I thought, it started to hit some bumps, like they were tapping on the brakes a little bit, but then it does pick up pretty quickly, so I can't really knock it too much. But in thinking about it over the course of the last few days since I've seen it, I kind of understand now why they did it, just because of the way they're telling the story. But yeah, I mean, it does get elements later in the movie, of course, of the slasher, the visual stuff, but there's a touch of mystery in the beginning, and then the thriller stuff that happens in the second act. It does kind of take some of the funner genres of the horror, the three better subgenres of the horror genre, and kind of builds one solid movie out of them, which I thought was really, really good. But let's get into the director first. Not a whole lot going from Zach Cregger so far. Again, this is his second movie, but he has done some pretty good stuff, and he's got some stuff coming up that makes us really happy about his potential prospects. I'll go to you first, Jeremy. Give me your thoughts on Zach Cregger and the job that he did in this film.
I'm so glad you asked me first, because I saw a particular meme the other day that was like when you think about a particular, could be an actor, could be whoever, in this case, the director.
And I had a feeling, because of some of the stuff he's done in the past, that you were very familiar with him.
I'm very familiar with it. Like I said, I've said before on this channel, there is a reason the way I am. and part of it has to do with Zach Cregger. So, to be fair, like that's kind of the weird gap for me. Is like I know this guy from the comedy sketch show, The Whitest Kid You Know, from back in the early 2000s, which I have said that's my high school era of explaining why my humor is the way it is and why I am how I am. So that's kind of interesting to see that. And then to go to this is kind of wild. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely got a good eye for this kind of thing. Because like I said, I can't say I've ever, directed my second movie ever, and it was something like this. So that's props for me to go from one thing to the other like that. It seems like right now that's twice now, because like we had the dude from Lonely Island make that the Naked Gun movie, right? Was that the one we did?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's weird that these like goofy ass guys that are in stuff like Lonely Island, or and then in this guy's case, The Whitest Kid You Know, and then it's like, okay, now we're gonna do something a little more serious. Oh, I wouldn't call Naked Gun serious, but you know what I mean. Seeing these guys blossom in this way is kind of cool. So, and with Zach Cregger coming up with actually properly, at least hopefully, doing a Resident Evil movie or show, whatever the hell, that's got me excited as well. So, fantastic.
Yeah, Tex, how about you? Give me your thoughts on Zach Cregger's work in this film specifically. If you're not familiar with anything else he's done, which actually you are. We actually did a movie that he was a producer of.
Yeah, I was just to say this is not his first horror film. He did Companion. He did Barbarian, which I did not like. Barbarian. A lot of people did. That was another. Which apparently Barbarian and this film are in the same universe from the research that I did. Who knew? I didn't really see anything that like, I noticed that, but apparently they're in the same universe. The earliest work of his I saw, he did a teen sex comedy in 2009, Miss March, about Playboy and whatever. And he was attached to that. I think that's the earliest work of his that I saw. And that was another, like, in that American Pie era of film. But yeah, as far as what he did with this one, it's really hard to do Tarantino, non-linear style, right? Because not only do you have to have the super compelling characters, great acting, but you got to have that special thing with the director. And I don't think he quite had it for me, but overall, I like more of his work than I dislike. So, I don't think I would quite call him a master of horror, but he's definitely a good prospect, I would say.
Yeah, I really like the job he did with this one specifically. He was a producer on Companion, like Tex mentioned.
Yeah,
there are a lot of similarities in storytelling in between these two movies that I really liked. These are the two movies that he worked on back to back. He was a producer for Companion, and then wrote, directed, and produced this one all himself. Apparently, he was also the composer for this movie. I haven't seen Barbarian. I've heard good and bad things about it, which is one of the reasons why I haven't really tried to go see it. I did not watch a lot of the Whitest Kids You Know. I've seen clips and stuff like that. It was funny. I just missed that one, unfortunately. Yeah, I missed that.
Oh my god, you guys would love it.
But I have watched several episodes. I've watched several episodes and clips of Adam Ruins Everything, which he's been involved in.
Okay.
I will make more sense as a person if you start watching some of those stupid clips. Just watch some of those kids, and you'll understand why my humor is how it is. So,
yeah, even he's got quite a bit of acting credits as well. Mostly smaller stuff that he's directed. Television, Whitest Kid You Know, Sasquatch, which I swear to God I was gonna watch it a long time ago, never did. I don't know why I didn't. Again, other acting roles. It's got his acting roles between television and movies split up, which is really weird. But I really liked this movie. I really liked Companion as well. I am interested to see what he's going to do with Resident Evil, because I know the video game to a movie thing has been tough, and lately there's been some better stuff, but I've always thought that Resident Evil, the stuff that was it Paul Thomas Anderson that made him?
All of the Project Alice.
Yeah. I've always thought that the films that he made with his wife Mia Jovovich were probably as good as that could be made theatrically. That you couldn't do that in live action.
I liked most of them.
I've liked a lot of them. I mean, one or two of the movies have been like, come on, guys, we're just kind of dragging the story here. Can you push the story forward instead of just kind of instead of just making another movie where she's fighting a bunch of zombies? But that franchise to me was about 2 movies too long. But it was a solid ending to that franchise, and I liked it overall. But I don't know how you could tell that story in a better way than what it's already been told.
I know how you could tell it. Just turn the video games into movies.
Don't just actually do the video games. Yeah.
But see, I agree with that to an extent, but the problem is you got to remember that telling a story in a video game is very different than telling a story on film. Much like telling a story in a book is very different than telling a story in a film, which is why so many people who have read a book don't like the movie, because you can't just use the book as the script, or else the movie would be 12 and a half hours long. That's one of the reasons why you have to put certain things out. You have to be more careful the way you tell stories. You have to trim it down a little bit, because books are so descriptive. Because you can't just say Tex said this, Jeremy said this. You have to say Tex gave a stern look to Jeremy and said blah blah blah. Jeremy realized that Tex was right. You have to be so much more descriptive.
Well,
you have to describe the scene. You can't just say that Jeremy is standing here, Tex standing here. There's dialogue, and then the background all works, and then there's the composition. You can't just put it all together like that. You can't assault all the senses the way that a movie does. You have to do it all just with words, and it's very difficult to transition a book to a movie. Same thing with video games. The storytelling in video games is so much different than it is in movies, that you have to adjust a lot of stuff. So I'm okay with them kind of going like the Marvel route. Marvel is not a direct adaptation of Marvel comics. They've taken aspects that they like of the comics and built this whole new world around it. So because you can't just make a comic accurate anything really without A, making it look kind of dumb, or B, having a tough time telling an overarching story the way like Marvel does. So that's the hard part about trying to just say make the movie like the games.
One thing I did read that kind of makes me worried a little bit, honestly, is Cregger had commented about, we've seen Leon's story and this person's story. So apparently he's going from some kind of other like all of those other characters. They may not necessarily not be in the movie, but it's not going to be based on Jill Valentine or Leon Kennedy or any of the names that we know. So that's what I want. Keep it simple, stupid. Give me just make Resident Evil 1, put it in a creepy mansion. You can throw in all kinds of fun. Oh, well, we have to unlock this, yada, yada, whatever. You can do all your movie things. But as much as I love the Project Alice films, and hell, I was one of the few people that went opening day to the last Project Alice Resident Evil movie on opening night on Thursday at midnight. But I hope they just take the first game and make a movie out of it. It's not hard. Don't do what Netflix did and do some woke DEI version, because I think 3 people watched that television show. It was horrible. Give me an accurate Wesker, all of them, and just make a good one. This guy does have the talent to do that, I think, even though I think Resident Evil would be better done as in like a Netflix long story telling form than one movie. But there's a lot of meat on that. Jeremy would know what I'm talking about.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw one that they said they were allegedly going to have dude who plays Homelander be Wesker. I'm like, now see, that would work.
That is perfect casting. That
would be perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
Down to the
last
minute detail. You know.
Give me a great Leon Kennedy. Now, Jill Valentine was perfect in Resident Evil 2. The chick that they got to play her, she had the look. She acted amazing as Jill Valentine. So whoever takes her spot's going to have to work hard, but it could be.
I was going to say 4 is easy. Leon Kennedy protects the president's daughter. There you go. That's the whole damn story. You can do whatever you want with that. That's the kernel of it. Now,
is it the T virus and then it goes to the G virus or something? Isn't that what that one is or something? I can't remember.
Oh, from 4?
There's
Fuck, I don't know.
There's variants all throughout of them. I can't remember. But,
yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Now, if you can make 5 actually work, because 5 was
dude, Resident
awful.
Evil 7 is my favorite out of all of them. Give me your Resident Evil 7 movie right fucking
6,
now.
like I said, 5 was god awful. 6, I was hesitant because of 5,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, 7 and 8, good,
Yeah.
amazing. You brought it back, but
Oh yeah.
I would have thought Chris Redfield and Shiva kicking ass and somewhere in the fucking African desert killing zombies. I was like, this is a cool premise. Then you just fucking dropped the ball completely. I hate that game so much.
Yeah, I know, but I personally, like I said, I love what he did here. I love what he did with Companion. I'm gonna have to sit and watch Barbarian at some point just so I can get a bigger.
Barbarian's a very boring film. It's I will say that it's very slow paced. That's what I did not like about it. But whatever.
But yeah, I'll have to sit down and watch some more of his stuff to get a better sample, so I know. But I've enjoyed the 2 movies recently that I've seen of his, and I'm looking forward to see what he does with Resident Evil and the stuff that he might do before that. Because I was reading an interview from him earlier that I'll get into a little bit later about what could potentially come from this particular film from Weapons. And he said something interesting that kind of had me wondering exactly what his next project will be. But for right now, let's move on to
video games at least too. So
yeah,
that makes me happy. He played Resident Evil games relentlessly. I'm like, okay, that's good. Let's start.
But yeah, for right now, let's move on to the cast. Again, I have no problems with the cast of this film. I thought everybody here did a fantastic job. I'll go to you first, Tex. Let me know what did you think of the cast of the film and who stood out to you the most.
Well, Thanos with the Silver Surfer out there in the truck. I thought that was kind of funny to see. But I got to go with Han Solo. I felt so bad for Alden Ehrenreich in this movie. My God, right. Do you have HIV? Do you have AIDS? This dude gets beat. He's going.
Times with needles.
Going through AA, got a drinking problem. I wouldn't know anything about that, right, guys? He's got. I don't know if he's quite married or dating the one chick that goes after Silver Surfer in this film, but he's obviously his marital status is on the rocks, let's say. Then he's just doing his job. He gets poked with a needle after doing it, and then he takes out Jay from Jay and Silent Bob is what I call it. But
yeah.
How did they not get Jason Mewes to play that role, by the way? That should have been
funny. That would have been funny.
I've seen this movie twice, and both times I'm like, Jay Mewes would have killed it in this movie. Whatever. What might have been like this. Is there anything that's gonna poke me? And then he just knocks dude out. Then he's like, oh crap, and unplugs the camera and tries to, fix himself. Like, all right, hey, buddy, you're okay. I'm gonna let you go, and we're not ever gonna talk about this, right? Again. And then he shows up next day, and 3 needles to the face, and yada yada. And, whatever. But yeah, I thought Han Solo. He's had a rough go since Solo came out, and he apparently had a very, very small, miserable part in Ironheart. I'm glad he got this to kind of redeem himself a bit because he deserved it. But yeah, Alden Ehrenreich for me on this.
Jeremy, what about you? What do you think of the cast? Who stood out to you the most?
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Josh Brolin. You got Thanos in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Julia Garner's honestly, like, I like the way she played her character.
That's one of my gripes about this movie, actually.
Someone put that, she's like, she kind of goes from, like, just kind of being the, like, not like mousy, but she's just kind of like the quiet teacher to, a depressed alcoholic to, shooting somebody in the fucking mouth for, like, trying to stab her. It's like, yeah, that's a fair character arc for this for this character. And she kind of gets like, since everyone's gonna turn on her, she's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do this myself and try to figure out what's going on with these kids, or especially this one house for this one kid who's left in my class, the only one. To figure out what's going on, what's going on with this. It's just a no-brainer. I love Wong. I think Wong is awesome. So
it's one of the best shots in this entire movie.
I'm like, man, if that
that would make a great profile picture out there is what that would make. Yeah.
Yeah, this big dude comes barreling at you just like relentlessly, like a fucking T-1000. That's horrifying. Yeah, Wong is obviously a win. Now, to be fair, my favorite character though, I'm like, I obviously have to go with the Wish.com version of Jay Muse because that dude made me laugh. Yeah, this kid right here was the fucking funniest character. I mean,
I kind of have a
it's
phobia of police stations. Can you bring me the cash? You know?
Yeah, it's like you kind of understand, like, yeah, maybe he's strung out, or he's probably thinking, like, God, am I tripping, or am I really seeing this shit? Like, or he's like, oh, hold on, I just saw 12 kids in this fucking creepy house's basement. Can I get that 50 grand, like, you know, today?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that dude was hilarious. Now my only thing with that, we'll get into the plot later about his thing, but to be fair, I think he was my favorite character, hands down.
Yeah.
The best scene of his in this whole movie, though, is once Han Solo has been infected, and he comes out and he gets drug out of the cop car feet first into that house, kicking and screaming. That was my favorite scene of him in this movie. I love that part.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Like I said, the cast of this movie from start to finish is fantastic. This crazy dynamic between these two characters, but I forget her name of the movie. Julie Garner and Josh. No, in the movie, Julie Garner and Josh Brolin. Yeah, the dynamic between those two, I love how you can see it shifting. Like that thing happens in front of him, so then he comes to that realization that she's not the one responsible, and then it becomes clear that maybe she can help him figure out what the hell happened to his kid, and and he can help her figure out what the fuck happened to all these kids, so that people stop hating her. I mean, it really. I just love those two on screen. They were the great unintentional, accidental, did not want to be partners in all films. It's like I love when the film puts together two people who just don't want to be around each other, but they have that single-minded purpose that is actually very important. Again, Wong. I mean, this scene alone, for one, he's a good actor anyway. He's been in a lot of things not MCU related that he's been great in. But I mean, in this whole sequence where he goes nuts and loses his shit and kills his partner, kills his husband, and runs through the town, and everybody just kind of looks at him funny as he's running by, and then all the shit pops off. That was fantastic. The one who steals the movie for me is Amy Madigan, who plays the crazy aunt.
Yeah,
you know, I
kind of put her. I kind of put her in the same class as the old guy from Poltergeist 2. They're very similar.
Yeah.
I've seen Amy Madigan in so many things. I mean, you know, being the old man that I am, she played Costner's wife in Field of Dreams. So I mean, all the way back then, I loved her, and all the things I've seen her in since then have been fantastic. But dude, she does this role so well because, you know, like I said, or a good like horror thriller, you have to have a great bad guy. She is a great bad guy for this movie. I don't imagine anybody who could have played this role any better than her. She is brilliant in this movie. But I gotta say, I do justice for Alden Ehrenreich in this movie. Justice for Paul. Dude, this guy. I got to the point where I was watching this movie. I was like, I feel bad for this guy. It's like I know he cheated on his wife and messed around with Silver Surfer Girl. I get it. And so part of me is like, you're kind of a dick for doing that. But at the same time, I'm like, he pokes his finger in this scene on dude's needle, and I'm like, and I know some guys that are cops. So I know that's a big fear that these guys have. That's why they ask that question when they're searching somebody. Do you have anything that's going to poke me or stick me or whatever? Because it's a real thing. I've known people that are like paramedics. They have to be very, very careful because people thrash around. They're trying to give them drugs to help them, and a needle gets moved around, and you can jab yourself with it. It's a very dangerous situation. He doesn't have it happen once. He has it happen twice. When dude stabs him in the face with these needles.
He gets 4 needles. He gets 1 in the finger and 3 in the face.
Yeah, and I was like, And by the time I got to the end of the movie where he is officially dispatched after he goes crazy and old girl she doesn't have a choice but to put him out of his misery. I'm looking at him there on the ground with, like, you know, the better part of the top third of his skull scattered somewhere, not holding his brain and all the blood. And I was just like, dude, if anybody deserved a hero ending, it's this fucking guy. And he's not getting it, and it really bothers me. I feel bad for this guy because he's trying to be there for this girl that he knows, that he has this past relationship with. He's trying to help out. He's on the verge of basically busting the case wide open and finding the kids. and then he gets, you know, whatever fucking like what Loki did to fucking Hawkeye with the staff and all that. She takes his mind over, and I'm just like, please tell me this guy is okay at the end. No, but bullet to the gets shot a couple
Really,
times.
nobody is okay by the end of this movie. Like nobody is better than the one.
But I feel worse for him. I feel worse for him than I do for the kids. It's like
well,
this
hell,
guy. It's like the kids were
all
standing.
that he still died.
Yeah, the kids were standing in a basement, not really having any harm come to them for this entire movie. Let's be honest. They were standing there. They were even getting.
What's the last line of the movie though?
But they were even
and some of the kids even started to talk again a year later. So none of these kids were okay.
It doesn't, but it doesn't matter. He got it devil hard. He got it.
Oh no, I agree. No, yeah, definitely getting the top of your head blown off is worse. But this was like one of those. This was a very George Romero ending. There's no happy ending for anybody. Like everybody was screwed after that.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks for someone playing Han Solo that you weren't the one who shot first. So we're
he should have shot first. Yeah, he should have. You know.
But you know what? Alden Ehrenreich's doing pretty good, though. I mean, Solo was a much better movie than it should have been, and that was in large part because of him.
I liked it.
He had Cocaine Bear, great movie. He's
great movie. He's good in it.
I love Cocaine Bear.
Ray Liotta, all of them. Love that movie.
His performance was while I hated his character, his performance in Ironheart was really one of the few performances in that entire series.
I couldn't watch that garbage. And I don't hate myself that much.
And he's very, very good in this movie, and I feel bad for him. I want Alden Ehrenreich to really find a franchise or a movie that he can really drive home and like he can carry it and just be like the lead, because I don't feel like I mean, Solo was a good start, even because look, that was a movie that even if it had gone right, a lot of people just didn't care to see it. It wasn't needed for the Star Wars lore, so a lot of people were just kind of like, whatever. Why am I watching this prequel to the prequels when I've already seen his character get killed in Force Awakens?
Because it's about my favorite character in Star Wars.
Because it's Han Solo.
Yeah,
but you know,
I saw online the other day somebody kind of fan casted him as a young Jim Gordon in like Gotham City Batman. Ooh. And now obviously we're going to get a little bit of an older Batman in the DCU, but if they wanted to play with the age, I think Alden Ehrenreich would make it amazing. You know,
I mean, if you got that picture still, he's got the mustache for it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He's already got the look down. We know the guy can act. I think he would make a really good Jim Gordon if they wanted. If they ever do like a Batman like year one with like a younger Jim Gordon that's got the marital problems and yada yada, the dude would be perfect for it.
Yeah, the problem is that they've already kind of done that a couple of times.
Like we did that with the Batman.
They did it in the Batman. They kind of did the younger version of Gordon in the Christopher Nolan movies. I mean, he starts out as just a detective, becomes chief pretty quickly, but I mean, it's a younger version. They've already done Gotham, which is the whole story of Gordon doing all his stuff before Bruce fully becomes Batman.
Gotham.
So it'd be
Batman
hard
universe that didn't need Batman. Jim Gordon takes care of it.
Yeah, so they've already kind of done it. Like I just really want Alden Ehrenreich to kind of find a property that he can carry as his own and just really kill it.
Yeah,
but no, that's just me. But again, justice for Paul because he got screwed this movie. But let's go.
That wasn't the other one, am I right? Hey,
yeah. Let's talk about the plot of the movie now. And boy, I'm gonna gripe a little bit on this one. I'll go to you first. What do you think of the plot of the film? Did it work for you, or was there anything you'd change?
Did you say me or him?
Go ahead, Jeremy.
You.
Oh, okay. Like I said, intriguing plot with a whole classroom of kids, save for one, save for the mini Joker kid back here, goes missing just unexplainably, all at the same time in the morning, and it's like, what? And that what is what gets you in the seat to watch this movie. So I was like, okay, well, let's see how this plays out. And like we said before, to do this kind of style of movie, like you have to be very smart about how you do this. You have to know what story you're telling, but how all these characters and these stories interconnect. And like you see subtle things, like when we're following the teacher, which makes logical sense first. You see her going into the liquor store, and you just see some big fucking truck sitting there just revving its engine and just got lights on. You're like, who's this fucking creep? It's subtle. It's in the background. There are things with the way this is shot that are very cool. Because then when you flip around to Josh Brolin's character, you realize, oh, that was him sitting in that truck watching her go into the store, because he's still suspicious of her. Like, I thought it was actually pretty well done because I'm like, you have to be very, like I said, very smart about how all the characters are playing together and feeding this story along. Now, the thing, like I said, when I said that discount Jay here was my favorite character, but for a second there, I kind of felt like, okay, but what are we doing? Are we even still talking about the kids anymore? I was like, where is this going?
Yeah.
I'm like, while I'm enjoying this dude's shenanigans, I'm like, so what does he have to do with it? I don't know. I mean, I just thought I kind of understand Han Solo's part in this movie, but I was like, I don't know who this druggy kid is and what difference he made until, after the only other person we've seen go to the house was Julia Garner's character. And he actually breaks in and starts stealing shit. And that's when it starts. And I'm like, okay, we're back. We're rolling into it. Now we're seeing who these two people were just sitting on the couch. He finds the kids in the basement. Rightfully flips the fuck out. And you see that, like, oh, crap. When Han Solo's telling him, don't you ever come back here again. And now it explains, like, oh, why did he just show up? Like, what the hell? Oh, because he came back because he knew what was going on. And I'm like, well, that's unfortunate. I hope nothing bad happens. Not to either of these guys. Like, Thanos just snaps him out of existence, and then Silver Surfer just shoots him in the other guy in the head. But yeah, it served the story a while. I think I thought it kind of drug a little bit in the middle there. But when you get that reveal, like with Wong, I think Wong was that reveal that like shifted this movie into fucking fifth gear, and it's like, whoa, what the shit? What are these zombies now? Like, what are we doing? Oh, we're doing weird like voodoo shit. Okay, and then like I said, then you shift right into the aunt. And just the way she just very coldly delivers that dialogue to this kid, man, that's the thing that gives you kind of the really chilling part of this movie. My only thing was I was like, I don't know if I really need it explained to me, but I was kind of like, okay, but why? The hell was her motivation? Like, I assume, was she dying of cancer, of something? And she's like, oh, I'm going to take these kids and maybe their youth will help me. A la some Disney witch that we've seen a million times before, I don't know. It's not really explained, but because I'm like, she just seems to have these things under her control, which then of course doesn't pan out too well for her, and she does get a little bit drawn out because I'm like, okay, the dark humor's there. It's funny watching her just run through the fucking neighborhood in broad daylight, being chased by 17 other kids, but to a point where I was like, there's no way this old bitch is outrunning all of these kids who are running at like Mach fucking 5. Like, there's no way. But cool death scene. I love the Shining reference with the parents. That was not subtle at all. They're trying to get to the kid in the bathroom. Mom sticks her face through the door. I'm like, okay, you've seen the Shining, haven't you?
I said, here's Johnny when that moment happened,
Right.
Dude. You weren't the only one.
Here's mommy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we all cut that one. Yeah. But yeah, kind of cool comeuppance at the end, of course. And I mean, yeah, it ends on a downer, but it's like, that's kind of the part of this lore where it's like, I guess you have to think that all these people, because I mean, they even said the parents, whoever this kid is, who the fuck is the kid who's been narrating this whole time? Like, just some little girl is just narrating like she knows the whole story. I'm like, okay, who are you? Were you one of the people in the class? I don't know. Because you're assuming when she's like, his parents now are fed soup by someone else. I'm like, so do their minds just really turn to mush? I mean, I guess they were in a trance for like a month and couldn't do anything. Kind of like some Scarlet Witch type shit, like from WandaVision. So it does kind of leave a shitty ending, but it's like, man, there are some heavy repercussions to this event that happened. The only thing I didn't fucking understand was, I'm assuming Josh Brolin was having a weird dream. Why was there an M4 in the fucking sky?
Yeah,
But
I think I had something in the. Let me look real quick. I think I had something in the.
I hope there's something that explains it, because I was like, I understand why it's called weapons, but I'm like, that's.
I think they had to get an obligatory.
No, I didn't.
Oh, look, scary! It's a weapon. No, we're being meta.
Well,
whatever.
Yeah, I didn't have any. I didn't put the piece of trivia in there about it, but it does mention something in the trivia on IMDb that it doesn't say why that gun shows up in the clouds above the house, but it apparently is visualized in one of the posters in the kid's room. But I'm still like, why is it hovering above the house? That doesn't.
It
Is
had
telling
the
him to
time
go
on it.
shoot somebody? I'm like, I don't. Yeah, it had the time. I'm like, I don't
It
understand
had the
what
time
that
of
correlation.
217.
Well,
Now,
that
The
see
only. Oh, good.
that happened in the Josh Brolin dream sequence, correct?
Yeah.
That,
Yeah, he was dreaming.
So maybe he saw the poster, and that's why he saw like he brought that into his dream or something. Maybe.
But
it
something in
doesn't-
his subconscious, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
understand.
I don't get it. It doesn't.
I don't know.
That visual doesn't play a part in him coming to any kind of a realization about anything over the course of
Yeah.
the movie, other
Now,
than the fact that he just had a nightmare about his kid being missing because his kid is missing. I'm like, okay, whatever. It was a strange visual. It didn't really lead into anything, you know.
the only thing that I actually did get explained to me, which I'm going to try and bring up now because I'm not well versed in anything Bible related, but that's where my quote comes from, was that actually it is. I mean, because they do subtle things like this. Apparently, Josh Brolin's son's name was Matthew, and the time that they all left in the morning was 2:17. Matthew 2:17 in the Bible is about all of the infants being killed in the Bible, which is kind of a really
Okay.
hella deep
That's
cut.
cool.
Yeah, with I don't want Hurricane Matthew. God damn it!
That's
I don't
very.
even search for the. I don't even search for this kind of shit. Come on, just give me the damn Bible verse. Come on,
Ironically,
I
that was the
gotta-
first piece of trivia I was going to talk about. Archer's son Matthew
Okay,
is missing
I
at
didn't mean to ruin it.
2:17.
My bad.
Matthew
Hey.
2:17 in the Bible describes the fulfillment of a massacre of children, the slaughter of the innocents.
This is
Yeah.
what you get when you have two horror experts on your review frame. You're gonna have some shit.
Or just smart
All
people who research shit.
or just smart people who research. What are you gonna do? Come on.
Yeah. Here it is. And then, 17 to 18, because 18 kind of helps with it. And then what was said through the prophet Jeremiah was filled. A voice heard in Ramah, weeping in great mourning. Rachel wept for her children and refusing to be comforted because they are no more. So, dead kids.
So
Yeah.
so Zach Cregger's pulling a Judas Priest and ripping off the Bible stuff. I like what he's doing.
I mean, but it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense with the story that all these
Yeah.
kids are just like gone. You think they're dead. But that's, yeah.
It's a
I don't
shame
know.
he didn't have a scene where somebody got a millstone tied around their neck for hurting one of the children. That could have been fun too. They should have done that.
And here you go. And you want a piece of trivia that's not there? There's a fun fact for you. That is, in fact, the same Rachel that my wife's named after in the Bible. So I read it. I was like, wait a minute. Hey, this story is about you somehow. That Bible verse of like her crying over all the kids that are fucking gotten killed because God's a dickhead. Who said that? I didn't say that. Read the Old Testament. He's an asshole. Okay? I said it. He has a change of tune in the New Testament. Whatever, man.
Send your hate
Somebody's about to be smited, I think. So better watch out.
That lightning
Well,
bolt
the
hits you.
words
I
of
hope
George
it's
Carlin,
live.
may he smite this audience right now. Oh, wait. I think I feel my heart hurting.
Uh,
But, I don't know.
That was kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Tex, I don't know. Plot. What do you think? I know that you're going to have a couple of gripes on it as well. What do you think of the plot?
Yeah.
Of what you have changed?
I kind of felt baited and switched with this one. I got to be honest. I mean, like I said, the only thing I knew about this was the 2-minute trailer, the first trailer that we got. And you think this is going to be a Julie Gardner vehicle that really brings it, the story. And in reality, she's not even the main character of this movie. I kind of felt this was like, Hulk's in Wakanda fighting Thanos. No, that wasn't. That was actually the Hulkbuster kind of thing. Kind of felt that way about it. Plot-wise, this thing's all over the place. And I know we're telling a non-linear, Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino style, whatever. But I don't like how they did this. I didn't need to see the Wong part of this story. I think it would have been so much more effective to not see the whole part of going to Wong's house and seeing the process. That whole section of the movie really drew this thing out. I wish they had Alden, Han Solo and Silver Surfer, keep those two together. I liked them in this movie. I wanted more of them together than just the little bit that we got. I wouldn't have went nearly as non-linear as they did with this. I would have send those two out, have Josh Brolin out doing his thing as well. But they just had so many plates spinning in the air. That was my biggest takeaway from this film. it really hijacks in the middle. There's this huge tonal shift. And even the ending of this movie where you're supposed to be like, oh my God, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. There's kind of like almost joyful music playing over the end of it. It doesn't fit. There's just pretty decent changes that I think need to be made with this that really kind of hurt my rating on it, to be honest with you. Like I said, I wanted more of the Julie Gardner role. I wanted more of the Han Solo role. I didn't need Wong in this movie. Yeah, it's cool to see what we did, but ultimately, I think it would have been better with show less of what we got, but really highlight this dude's doing a Usain Bolt down the road and tackling Silver Surfer in the middle of the street. Which, by the way, somebody get the footage of Wong running down the road and put a sling ring right before he enters, because that would be the funniest rip cut you could ever do. Like, somebody needs to do that with the computer skills. But yeah, plot wise, there's just so much here that I would have redone. Yeah, the ant was creepy, the ant was cool, but what this movie felt like a Twilight. Well, it felt like a mega episode of the Twilight Zone is what this felt like. And I think they showed too much. And realistically, I think they should have pulled the reins back, maybe kept some of the surprise, because then I think it would have been scary. Yeah, I've got issues.
I think Wong is the surprise, because you're like, what the holy fuck are we going? What is going on? You know what I mean? You
right, but
big dude to be running down the street like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But
like,
having her show up to the house and do all the things, and can I have a bowl of what? Like, I don't know. I would have rather seen less of how the sausage is made with that, because I think it would have been more effective. And it's just, Cregger was trying to tell so many stories with this. Not every character needs a 20-minute segment in this. You could have combined stuff and made it flow a lot better.
It's not every character; it's the main character.
It's just feeding the fire, though, just little by little.
I would have paced this movie way different than what he did. Is the short way of what I'm trying to say. Right? There's pretty big pacing issues and plot wise. I would have done.
Yeah, I don't look. There was some pacing issues. They're not as bad as I've seen it in some other movies in the last year or so. As soon as the movie starts to kind of hit some rough spots, it seems like through editing and dialogue they kind of get it back on track pretty quickly. I didn't mind the whole rewinding and watching some of the things through the eyes of the main character. It makes sense to do it from Julia Gardner, from Julia Gardner, yeah, from Julia Gardner's character and Josh Brolin's character, because they're the two primary ones. Alden Ehrenreich, yeah, it kind of makes sense for him because he is kind of a secondary character to all of it all. But going back and seeing it through his perspective was fine. And I guess kind of because of him, you have to go through and see things through the homeless drug addict's character, if you have to. Yeah. But whatever. I mean, that kind of made sense. The rest of them, it doesn't really go back too much, except for not as deeply as that, with the exception of, I think, Wong a little bit. It kind of goes back for him. But I think that's really just kind of
maybe like a day.
Wong's part really slowed this movie down.
No, I don't think so. Well, you had to have.
I think the druggie slowed it down a little bit, because I was like,
I thought
the druggie, down a lot more. That I will agree with.
You could have.
While he was entertaining, I was like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah, the drug addict guy. You could have essentially wrapped his entire roll up in like one or two scenes. He didn't have to be this big a part of the movie, but he does. I don't know. He plays his part getting Alden Ehrenreich's character to where he's going to go. Now, like I said, part of it is like I watch a lot of cop movies and stuff too. Part of me is like, no one at the grocery store found it suspicious that Alex was suddenly buying 17 to 20 cans of soup regularly by himself right after 17 of his classmates go missing. There's not, and he's the only kid left of this class that didn't get abducted or whatever happened to the kids. He would have had cops all over him. He would have just been walking every day by himself.
You're telling me nobody in that neighborhood
have already gone in the house? Like, they would have just let this kid walk around. Yeah, I don't know.
You're telling me nobody in that neighborhood noticed all the newspapers piling up the windows or newspapered over? Nobody said anything?
Yeah,
like, come on, man.
How do we explain all the red flags in this kid's life that apparently all these cops are ignoring?
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
I don't know if it's supposed to be like shitty small town maybe vibe. I'm like,
you
they
know
all
what,
seem
though?
to care about this situation.
But even
not
even
enough
small town cops, at least these days, and this is a modern movie set in modern times, get more
Yeah.
training. They're not like fucking Barney Fife and Mayberry, and they're just dumbasses who got deputized by the sheriff because they went to high school together, and that's just their job. That's the way for them to continue hanging out now. It's just it's no, these cops know better. And like, dude, I'm not a cop. I'm not trained like that. But even I was looking at it like, why aren't there 4 or 5 cops surrounding his house? He's the only kid left out of this entire classroom of kids who vanished like a fart in the wind. Why aren't looking why didn't it be 10 pairs of eyes of this kid 24/7?
Well, also, why didn't I mean, as comical as it was when he Ehrenreich took the druggie to the kid's house, like he showed him the house. And then, like, it's comically, it cuts to, like, oh, now it's nighttime, like, airplane almost, where he's like, all right, I'll give 5 more minutes, you know. But I was like, wait, so you're telling me no one checked up on Ehrenreich's character, the cop? Like, he didn't check in. I'm assuming his shift might have been over by that point. No one knew where he was at. No one came to check on that either. I'm like, you don't just go missing for that long amount of time as a cop and just no one... You know what I mean? Like, his car's still just sitting there. Again, no one would have thought to wonder why that cop car was still sitting there.
How about mom and dad? I'm sure at least one of them worked. Neither one of their jobs were like, hey, these people haven't shown up for weeks. What is going on? Like, there's a lot of...
saying about the parents. That's right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's they're gone for a month. There's like 8 newspapers in that driveway, so either they're not delivering or somebody's stealing. What's going on here? Lots of plot holes all over.
That's why the drug addict guy picks that house. Because I've always heard anyway, one of the things that you do is you have somebody pick up your newspapers, because if they see an accumulation of newspapers or mail, that people are going to think that nobody's been there for a while, I can break into this house. So that's stuff that I learned back in the 80s. So you can't tell me these people were like, hey, somebody pick up the newspaper.
But once again,
small town, so whatever.
Every front window on the front of that house is newspapered up to it looks like a crack den. That's a nice neighborhood. Somebody's going to notice that. Like, you know, kind of a giveaway, but whatever.
Yeah, and to top it off, I thought the ending was a little abrupt.
It was. Like I said, it was very George Romero. Go back to Night of the Living Dead. The ending just comes out of nowhere, and you're left on a. You're left on a unhappy note. That's why it's called a Romero ending, because nobody gets what they want. They all end up dead or unhappy. It's the way that it is.
It's kind of true to life, though, which sucks. I mean,
it's very real.
It's a realistic ending, which is fine, but I didn't think it ended on an unhappy note. I mean, ultimately, the kids all went home to their parents. I mean, the aftermath.
Mine just still mushed.
Sure, they went home, but they were shells of what they used to be. Hell, some of them even started to talk again. They would have been better off dead. Yeah, I mean, come on.
I would have liked another couple of minutes of a scene where, rather than having the narrator do that they would have had some final, some kind of an epilogue, a little piece of
maybe it's like Josh Brolin and his son, because I'm like, you did just kind of stop it. I'm like, maybe if his son started talking to him, it's like that was the whole point. He finally got his son. He scooped him up and ran off with him. Like,
that's where I don't know what notes Frank has on this, but I think if there is a sequel to be made, it's going to be focused on Josh Brolin and that son, because they focus on that son's face as the last image that you see. It's some kind of long-lasting supernatural effect, whatever. If they go forward with this weapons stuff, that would be a kicking off point that they can do it.
It could be significant, but I think ultimately it's like that's because Josh Brolin is one of the 2 main characters in the film that focuses on his son.
Josh Brolin's great.
And on top of that, no other parent is actually there when all this shit popped off. So it's not like there could be multiple parents there that would actually grab their kids and scoop them up and walk away. He's the only one there to grab his kid. So who else were you going to put in that scene but him and his kid? But moving on to that, there's
the other parents we saw was Justin Long, and they didn't really seem to give a shit either. So.
Yeah, he was just like, whatever.
Turn into a walrus, you fucker.
Way to go, Justin Long. A terrible parent you are. But let's talk about potential sequels now. I mean, they did say, Zach Cregger did say that he does have a. Oh, let me get the direct quote so that I can get it right. Cregger discussed a potential sequel to Weapons in an interview with Variety, saying, quote, I have another idea for something in this world that I'm kind of excited about. I'm not going to do it next, and I probably won't do it after my next movie, but I do have one, and I'd like to see it on the screen one day. So he's written some stuff on the back of a cocktail napkin or a pizza box, wherever he writes that stuff, which is great. But he's saying that he's not, he's making clear something that I actually really like. He's not in a rush. I'm not going to rush out. I'm not going to rush to capitalize on this movie doing well. If I'm going to continue this, it's going to be the way I want to continue it. It's going to be good for the story. It's going to be good for the characters. It's going to be good for this world as a whole. I don't want to rush it out there just to make more money. Telling the story is more important. And to top it off, we've already talked about he's got the Resident Evil stuff coming up at some point. I would imagine he's probably balls deep in making sure that's going to be right first. Yeah. And then maybe he's got another idea that is farther along the developmental stage that he figures will be next. So it might be a few years, but I really don't think we'll see a sequel to this before like 2028. I don't know, Jeremy, what do you think about the idea of a sequel?
I mean, I'm curious to know what this idea is, and yeah, I'm okay with, in the video game world. I mean, sometimes it is better while it sucks to delay something, but I'm like, I want you to do it right though. I mean, if there are problems, flush that out. Make the thing make sense and make it something cool that you want to actually see fully developed on the screen. So, I couldn't profess to know what the hell the idea is, but I mean, now I wonder, is it like a direct sequel, like we were saying, like, because then otherwise, I mean, you got like Josh Brolin in this movie. I mean, you'd kind of have to go with like his character or something. I don't know. Or maybe it should be, kind of like a, what's that shit called? Where it's in like the same universe.
Anthology.
Yeah, like an anthology kind of thing. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Like something to kind of tie it to it. So,
technically, this is an anthology film to Barbarian. So,
and I say we were talking about that. So, yeah. So, however, that apparently, I'll get my Charlie Kirk fucking red yarn out and I'll start trying to explain. I don't know.
Just make sure to put the microphone down once you're done talking, so I can speak.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm excited. I mean, like I said,
sit on it, flush it out, and yeah, don't rush it out the door. So. Make it good.
What is the evidence that this is connected to Barbarian? I'm curious because I haven't seen Barbarian yet.
I don't know what it is. I've just read credible interviews of people that would know that said this is in the same universe as Barbarian. So I don't know if it's same town, like, because Barbarian was basically two people rent an Airbnb accidentally, and then there's like this cave underneath, and it's a whole thing and whatever. So apparently it's set in that same universe. Like I said, I wasn't a big enough fan of Barbarian to care to go digging for Easter eggs, but apparently it's in the same world. That's all.
Well, Barbarians is set in Detroit. This movie is set in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so maybe it's not the same town, but from what I read, it was same. It's the same America. I don't know. Who knows?
Same side of America, kind of. I mean,
that's kind of flimsy. It's a little flimsy.
Which is why I said this felt like a Twilight Zone kind of thing, where it's all under the same banner, whatever. But this was very. This kind of had the same feel to me as another property, Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. Like it kind of had those vibes as well, which. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people who staunchly defend Halloween 3. It's fine. It's nowhere near my top 5 Halloween films. It's nowhere near it. But I kind of put it in that same vein because it very much felt like that kind of movie. I mean, there wasn't, Celtic nonsense and Halloween Mass That'll Kill You. That was a weird looking plant with thorns on it, but whatever, same premise.
That catchy jingle on the commercial though.
Happy Halloween. Now, like I said, I watch Halloween 3 every year in October. It's part of my scare-thon, but it's not one that I'm jumping in to go see, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't see, I feel like when it comes to horror that anthologies are becoming the way to go rather than sequels. And I feel like that's not
Well, it's the
always
easier
best
way.
idea. But I don't want easy. I want it's hard to make a one movie that's good. It's one of the hardest things in the world to do is to make a good movie. Because you never know until you can't go back and fix anything. That's why it's so hard. That's why so few people are successful at doing it. It's a very hard thing to do. To make a follow-up movie that is good is also impossible. It's also a seemingly impossible task. It's like just because John Carpenter knows, his properties inside and out, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to make a sequel to one of his great movies and make it just as great. It's a hard thing to do. So why would you?
John Carpenter wanted to kill Michael Myers after Halloween 2, and they had to take him to court to make 2 of them. So that should tell you something.
But that leads into what I've been saying about horror movies for a while now. Is that the problem is they get past the third movie and they get to be cartoon versions of themselves. That's why I think the horror franchises should stop at 3. I think most franchises should stop at 3. I mean, Christ, we're on Fast and the Furious 87 at this point. Jesus Christ. Vin Diesel's getting an AARP fucking membership, and he's still driving around his fucking Charger.
I can't wait till they have
flying off fucking cliffs and shit, flying in space. I mean, it gets ridiculous after a while. That's one of the reasons why I think that franchises should stop after the third one. You should limit them to 3. If I ever made a movie and somebody was like, "Hey, we want to make a movie for you," I'd be like, "Okay, in my contract, it's going to say 3 movies." Max. That's it. I'm not even promising a second one. I'm just saying that if we make sequels, we're stopping at 3. I'm not going to drag my character out into some ridiculous shit in some low budget dreck just because you want to say I put it in a movie out. That's not. I care about the product. That's what I worry about with this. Is I would rather, and again, I'm writing this in my head just as an idea. I would rather them do something anthology-like, but have like the character, the crazy aunt, but have that character in it as not necessarily a cameo, maybe more than that, but just have her in there as the connective tissue. And like maybe something else like this happens in another town. But maybe you explain it a bit further, and you come to realize that there was another person like her, and then maybe in a third movie you expose the fact that it's a coven of witches that we're trying to do something much bigger.
Well,
that's how you do it. And then somebody takes out the coven, and that's where the franchise ends. There is going to be no Weapons 4, 5, and 6, where we're doing witches in fucking Mars and stupid bullshit like that, and witches in space. No, because that's where it gets just too ridiculous. So I'm okay with them doing a sequel, so long as you're expanding the world a little bit. That's the important part.
Well, it had to be kind of a prequel because she did get ripped apart in about 7 different fucking pieces.
And that's fine. And that's fine.
Yeah,
if you give her a little bit more of a backstory and explain where she comes from, and flesh her character out just a little bit more, I think that works for me.
I want that.
There's 3 ways. Oh, go ahead, Jack. Go ahead.
Well, no, just as another plot thing I forgot to mention that I remembered from this is I'm like, so you're telling me this never happened at any other time? No one else found this fucking weird? That something of this kind of event only happened this one time, or they didn't?
Every 30 years in Derry, and nobody decides to talk about it.
Okay, right. But I'm just saying, like,
well, that's because it makes them forget, though. That's the whole thing.
That is true. There is a reason for it, I guess. But I'm saying is like this. You can't tell me she doesn't obviously do this quite often or whatever.
Oh no, this is not the first time.
Never came up any other time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you do this, I'd be okay with that because you'd have to explain to me why this never seemed to happen at any other time.
Well,
like it wasn't just this town that it happened to. So.
It does. There is a line of dialogue in the movie where she says something along the lines of, "I thought your parents would be enough, but I need more," or something like that. So maybe on the scale of 17 kids, it's never happened. But maybe she has done this to 1 or 2 other people, and those people she sucked all their life energy out. So she decided to move in with her niece and her husband and her kid, thinking that she was going to take their life energy, and it ended up not being enough. So she hatches this thing to go get 17 kids.
I guess.
So maybe it was something for the moment rather than a regular thing that happens. Maybe I don't know.
What were you going to say?
I'm
sorry.
I do have one sequel idea that I think would be cool. We never see what happens to the plant where she gets these branches from by the end of the film. As far as we know, it's still in that house, right? What's the last image that we see? We see Josh Brolin carrying his boy out as they're zooming in on his face and he's looking all disturbed. How cool would it be? And you can keep it low budget. You can keep it very spooky while keeping it very a nice tight story. Josh Brolin is trying to cure his kid, right? Now he has his son back. He's researching everything else. He finds out, oh, that tree thing, that caused this. Maybe I can fix him. Play this kind of like a Pet Cemetery kind of film is kind of what I'm pitching here. He gets that. We take Josh Brolin from the concerned parent, good father, to ultimately a villain, or not villain, but good person doing something bad, trying to help his son, and do a Pet Cemetery kind of movie. I think that would be very interesting to see.
Well, the kid did kind of figure it out a little bit. So I mean, he has some knowledge of like,
right?
He figured out how to turn them back on,
and that can all be part of it. That can all be that can play into this pitch. That's what I'm saying.
Because I don't think he saw her like drop the things into the bowl of water, which seems to like kind of just break the curse. He just knew like I had to have this, I had to stick myself, and had to have part of the person, and then
realistically, if you don't do what I just did, you either do a prequel and explain is she a witch? Is she part of a coven? Like Frank was saying, there's only 2 or 3 realistic things. I don't just want to see Weapons 2. This was not a good enough concept that I don't want to see this movie again. This isn't like a Halloween or Exorcist 2 or Chainsaw 2. You're going to have to take this concept and go the anthology route and do, like I said, do kind of like a Pet Cemetery kind of thing, where Josh Brolin is a concerned dad trying to do something good, but ultimately he ends up causing his own demise somehow or something. But I don't know. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Well, he did say he has an idea already. We don't know what that idea is. So maybe it could be one of the things that we've mentioned. It could be something that we haven't thought of. Maybe he's just way smarter about this stuff than we are. He made this movie, and none of us would have made it. So I mean, for right now, I just say, let him cook. Let Chad Cregger cook, and because I like this movie. But the reality is, if he'd never made a sequel to this movie, I'd be fine. I don't think
this movie doesn't need a sequel.
It's solid on its own.
Yeah. You could leave this as a one-off and let it stand on its own merit. Like I said, not everything needs a universe.
Yeah.
Maybe to tie it into Zach Cregger a little bit, maybe the ant was just really chugging down that gallon of PCP. That's what it was. I'm telling you, guys gotta watch it. Why Just Kid You Know, because I'm like, that's a joke right there. That's a funny skit. Gallon of PCP. That explains it. It's all connected. I don't know.
But let's get into some of the trivia now, and let's see. Like I said, the first one Jeremy kind of ruined for me, talking about the Bible verse, which I thought was still good. It was interesting. But what's my first that I'm going to use? I wish I should have gotten a picture of the clock when I had a chance. But let's see. To further capitalize on the theme of the movie, some theaters listed showtimes at 2:17, the exact same time the children vanished in the film. That's smart marketing. I dig that. I dig that. Any theater that did that, good on you. That's how you do it. Nice. They've done stuff like that with other movies before. I'm drawing a blank on what they did. I know there was some. I want to say with the Blair Witch. I want to say with the Blair Witch they did some crazy things with the release or something. I forget. That was a million years ago. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll remember it.
Well, I know at the premieres of the Blair Witch, they were handing out like, have you seen these people post
the flyers?
I had one for the longest time. I had one of those for the longest time and lost it just.
I mean, hell, Blair Witch changed marketing. They had entire websites of all kinds of stuff. Internet. They did a fake documentary. It's called Tales of the Blair Witch that they released at the same time, explaining the backstory of what you were going to go to the theater and see. Hell, Tales of the Blair Witch, I believe that's on Tubi as well. It's like a 45-minute documentary, but it's obviously not real. But yeah, like that whole thing changed the game.
See, it worked once, and there was some other movie that tried to do that shit where it's like cut the movie off and say like, "Oh, for more information, go visit this," and we're like, "What the fuck? You don't just stop the movie cold like it's the fucking Sopranos and fucking." Right. Be like, oh, go to this website. And we're all like, nah, fuck you. Don't do that.
To see the end of this movie, pay $9.99 on our website.
Right. We're past the like that cool thing of like, oh, was it real? Did it really happen? And the internet's like kind of still in its infancy. Like, yeah, you can't do that later down the road. It doesn't work.
I don't remember what the movie's called, but there is one that does that.
Well, the next movie that did that really good was Paranormal Activity. When the first Paranormal Activity came out, that shocked every. I still remember seeing that for the first time. That was one of the most shocking times I've ever had in the theater. That was something else.
Well, and then until they got to Paranormal Activity 84, and I was like, okay, can we stop?
Hey, I was there for all of them, and I love the Paranormal Activity film. I love found footage horror, but I'm a fan of it.
Let's see. Moving on to this one, Netflix is actually ready to pay more money up front than New Line, who eventually bought the film. But an assured theatrical release and New Line's track record with horror were better selling points. So from what I had read, Netflix
New Line is the house that Freddie built. So
from what I had read, Netflix had actually offered $7 million more than the. Did I have it later?
Wow.
Yeah, they New Line ended up paying $36 million for this for the distribution rights. Netflix was going to pay them $7 million more, but Cregger wanted this movie to go to theaters, which I think is the right thing.
Smart man.
It's one thing if you've got like a low budget thing that you're not sure about. I mean, let Netflix pay the money up front and walk away with your check. Yeah. But if you've got something you think that can make a difference in the theater that you think people are actually really going to like, and maybe even go see a couple 3 times, I say everything should be put out in theaters. And Netflix should be make your deal with Netflix later on for the digital distribution, whatever. But I mean, every movie should go to theaters, in my opinion. But whatever.
It's fair. Fair enough.
Let's see. I did that one already. Let's talk about some potential casting now. What could have been?
Oh, I know of what.
Rooney Mara and Elizabeth Olsen were actually offered the lead role, but both turned it down. Pedro Pascal and Renate, I'm going to butcher his last name, Reinsve were then cast, but ultimately had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts. Pascal dropped out to star in the Fantastic Four: First Steps, which ironically also stars Garner.
It has her in it, so that's funny.
I could not. This movie would have been so much work. Pedro Pascal does not have the bravado that Josh Brolin does. No, that would have completely changed that role.
I think he can. No, because he has it in Last of Us. He has it in Mandalorian. He doesn't have it in Fantastic Four, which is why I didn't like him in that role. I think he could have. If he'd have brought some Joel into this role, I think he could have done as good a job.
It's just Pedro fatigue.
I'm happy to have Josh Brolin because
you're gonna tell me
I am suffering.
Yeah, but if you did Elizabeth Olsen, that's a little too much WandaVision for me, and I'm like, the parallels already there. I'm like, don't do that.
Is this movie like one of the Earths in the MCU? Is this like Earth 5192, where everybody is from a Marvel thing and just over here? Come on.
Well, I can think of another movie that had a lot of Marvel actors in it, and that was let's see, Spotlight had a lot of Marvel's actors in it.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the MCU.
That's true.
Zodiac.
I mean, who hasn't?
Another movie that had a lot of Marvel actors in it.
Yeah,
that's right before.
That was pre-MCU, though, dude. This is what I'm saying. Like,
all these actors are all going to work together on other things. Just because 2 actors work in the MCU together and work in another film together doesn't mean it's going to be.
I'm just glad
it doesn't have anything to do with the MCU. It doesn't have anything to do with the MCU. So if it would have been, Pedro would have mattered.
It's just funny. It's just funny that you already have something about mind control.
Like I said, if he would have brought some of that gruffness that he gives us with the Joel character from Last of Us, I think he could have done well. Because I get a lot of that out of the character that we end up getting from Brolin.
If Pedro Pascal was in this movie, that would have been he had 4 movies in the theaters within a month of each other. Fantastic Four, Eddington, The Materialist were the 3 that he had in theaters all at the same time. If he had been in this, that would have been 4 that, like, don't tell me that there's not a Pedro overload. Like, I mean,
it's not unheard of for an actor to have multiple movies in theaters.
But 4 at one time, come on, man. That's too much.
Crazy.
Anybody. That is 2 at the max. You get 2 at one time. No more. Bring Chris
Pratt back. Kind of fucking work hard. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I'm not saying, hell, if I'd take the job too. I'm just saying it's overload on just anything. I don't know. I wouldn't have wanted it.
Yeah, somebody's got to be the person. The only reason why people hate the Beatles is because they were fucking popular. I'm like, yeah, if it wasn't them, it'd be somebody else, and you'd hate them for the same fucking reason. It doesn't fucking
Well,
matter.
but see, that's the thing, though.
he's the
The
fucking popular thing.
Beatles are going to last. Pedro's a ship in the wind.
I'm not
It was
comparing
Chris
it to
Pratt before
laughing.
him.
I'm saying
and it was-
it's the big
Oh, I
fucking
know.
thing, and it's like everyone gets mad about it because it's the big thing, and I'm like,
Right.
if it's not him, like I said, it's gonna be somebody else, and you're gonna be mad about that. So,
Oh, I'm sure. But I don't know. It's just he's in too much as it is.
you hate them for being like the big thing. It's like
I like Josh Brolin. He's a solid actor. Hell, Josh Brolin and Glenn Powell, my fellow Texan, starring and running man, are the reason why I want to see that. But I'm happy they got the role.
Glenn Powell is just like on a fucking roll now. Now, to be fair, I'm on that train. He's a thing.
I still want his truck from Twisters with that shit that drills them with those augers that drill them.
The thing was pretty goddamn.
I still want that truck. That was a badass truck.
There's got to be a YouTube channel like Whistling Diesel or somebody like that has actually built that truck out and kitted it out.
Dude,
it's not just that it's like the model and the make of the truck is good. It's like all the accoutrements.
That thing is a redneck. That's a redneck Batmobile. That's what that truck was. My God, like that thing can take on anything.
That's a Texan's wet dream right there,
dude. Take my money, please. I want that pickup.
That thing was cool. That thing was sweet.
The official car of the Yeehaw people.
You goddamn right.
Some more potential casting. Let's see. Brian Tyree Henry and Tom Burke were originally cast in the film, but were later replaced by Benedict Wong and Alden Ehrenreich. I like Brian Tyree Henry. He's been good in a lot of stuff that I've seen him in. But I'm glad we got Wong.
Tyree Henry. I'm trying to place that name. I can't place it. What has he been in?
Do you see Bullet Train?
Yes.
The two British brothers, the black guy and the white guy. He's the black guy.
Okay. I couldn't place that name for it. Okay. Yeah, no, I'd rather have Wong. Wong was fine. It was fun watching him bash his skull in and yada yada whatever. I was down with that.
I love it when my mouse decides it wants to not work for a second. Let's see. According to an interview with, I'll just pick this picture because whatever, I didn't get that many pictures for this anyway. According to an interview with IO9, the film had a chapter devoted to Gladys's backstory. I wonder, should I pick this picture? I wonder if maybe one of the reasons that wasn't eventually shot
keeps the intrigue
is because it keeps a little bit of the intrigue, and maybe you can, even though she gets dispatched at the very end of this movie, that she could still appear in a cameo in, like what Jeremy had said, like potentially a prequel or a flashback or something like that. Mm-hmm. So maybe they had decided at one point they were like, we're going to not put this in there because there's something I might use that for in a second film.
I want to see this woman in her antics. Yeah. So
now the first time that we see her in whenever knockoff J Muse is running through the woods and we see her back in the trees and whatever, did she look more clownish to y'all? Like it was more exaggerated than when we see her up close?
That was some Pennywise type shit. Yeah, it looked a little.
That's what I'm saying. Like she looked like it was like more like Art the Clownish, more bozo-ish. Yeah. It like the blue eyes were bigger. Like I'm wondering if maybe that's something that they cut out because like we saw it that one time and then she still has the blue eyes and the red lips, but it's nowhere near as exaggerated as it was that first quick glance that we get of her.
Right.
Maybe it's some drugs, man. I don't know. Those are drugs, kids.
I don't know.
That could be one of the reasons why they explain he sees her the way he does. Like he sees her as more of a Pennywise kind of a character because he's fucking looped out on whatever he's taking.
He's fucking tweaking out.
Because at that point in the movie, I don't think we had gotten a good look at her anyway. I'm having trouble remembering.
No, that was the first time when we see her in the woods.
So maybe that the visual is just like we're seeing it through his eyes, which are obviously messed up because of the stuff he's doing.
I don't know.
Potentially, I don't know.
Allegedly, right?
But let's see. Going back to Justine and her class. Justine was teaching her class about parasites shortly before the poor kids were taken, and Principal Marcus is seen watching a documentary about Jeremy the cordyceps and its effect on ants.
Yeah,
This
I
involves
was like, God damn it.
This involves
Laughing.
robbing them of their free will and making them do whatever the parasite wants, which fits in with Gladys taking over poor Alex's household and possessing the people via her magic.
Yeah, I appreciate the cordyceps reference there. I was like, that's funny.
They also got
I was like, I pointed at the screen. I was like, I get what you're going with this.
They also got a Halloween reference in there too. You know, go back to the 74 or 78 Halloween. The first time we see Laurie in the classroom, the teacher's talking about fate, as we see Michael looking through the windows, spying on her and everything else. That was kind of their Halloween callback to this movie too. So they kind of played on multiple levels.
But one more real quick. I'll go to the only really good bloody thing I have. Jeremy's favorite part: body count.
No.
I don't.
Oh shit!
I honestly, this sounds about right. I wasn't counting as I was watching the movie, but it sounds.
Are
about
you gonna
right.
count the kids or like they're dead because they're
That's
brain
my
dead?
question.
'Cause fuck you. Like I'm not doing this fucking splitting hairs.
Well,
shit.
I would say, judging from the number, that they do not count the kids. I would imagine they're doing the on-screen deaths. Which looking at this number, I'm like, that sounds about right, but I wasn't counting, so I couldn't be totally sure. And it is IMDb, who was notoriously bad about having accurate kill counts.
Mom and Dad.
Do you have an over under, or you just want me to guess?
Take a guess, because I think anyway, for a movie like this, it's a relatively low number.
Yeah, it's not high. Let's see.
3? I mean, because Han Solo.
No, there's more than that. No, there's more than that. Let's see.
Does he kill the druggie? I don't remember. He beat.
Yes,
He punched him in the face.
yes.
He was getting up.
Let's see. There's Han Solo. There's knockoff J Muse. There's Wong, his husband.
Oh, Wong, the husband. Yeah.
Yeah. The old lady herself is 5.
5. Yeah.
Fuck. Who else dies? Josh Brolin doesn't die. We're not counting the kids.
No one in the.
Well, none of the kids died anyway, so.
No.
5?
Maybe that's closer.
I can't think of any others.
No. Jay, what do you think?
No, yeah, I forgot about Wong and the husband. That would get me back up to 5.
Yeah.
I bid $1, Bob.
The answer, of course, is 5. You guys got it exactly right.
Okay.
Thank you. There we go.
Consisting of 4 men and 1 woman. Of course, the woman being the crazy witch.
The aunt. Yeah. Okay.
I like that. I did occur to me as I was later in the movie the foreshadowing because whoever it never actually explains who painted witch on her car except for the fact that you get that visual
until we see the red paint.
But it never says he did it, which is interesting. But I think it's funny that they wrote witch on her
pretty
car
heavily
being
implied.
a witch that was doing it. So yeah, it's pretty heavily implied, but it never says
when they
that
show.
loud, so.
When they show like fresh paint dripping out of the cans and the paintbrush is laying there, it's pretty obvious what Brolin did.
I also still hates her and still thinks she's the one that did it. So.
Yeah. I also thought it was funny that like the next day she's like out there with like some lemon pledge and the fucking dish sponge. Like I'm like, you're not getting that paint off like that, honey. You got to figure something else out.
That was where like when we first see the paint. My inner dad came out. I'm like, that's not spray paint because they show it up close and you can see textured lines with it. Yeah. So I'm like, that wasn't somebody that just randomly tagged this car. That was done with a brush. And then, I started putting it in my head, whatever. But, I did pick up on that as I went. So that was kind of
fun. But that's all the trivia I have for this. There was actually more trivia. A lot of it wasn't good. I mean, a lot of the trivia that IMDb puts out is like, this person started this movie with the same person that was in this movie. I'm like, yeah, we know. We've seen it.
Yeah.
This person was in the MCU with this person, same as
like,
this person. I'm like, yeah, we know. We're not idiots.
Disney has employed at least 3/4 of this cast we know of. We can say that. Whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, the girl that plays the wife that jumps her ass in the liquor store is Chad Cregger. Jesus Christ, is fucking Zach Cregger's wife. Real life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they started together in something that he had done. What the fuck was it? I'll remember the name as soon as I see it. They had started together in Love and Air Sex, a movie that he had done in 2013.
Okay, yeah.
As they were, they
never
played
saw that one.
They played a couple in that movie, and that's where they met, and they eventually fell in love, got married, had kids, and then brings.
That's cool.
She's been in several of the things that he's been involved in minor roles, but yeah, she's the real life wife of the director. Kind of hot too.
Nice.
Like the.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, I was sitting there like,
what was Han Solo thinking?
You are fumbling that, my good sir. The fuck?
Yeah, Han Solo's got this hot blonde wife, and he's trading it in for Silver Surfer over here, dude. If you're gonna cheat, you always go up. That's the rules. You never downgrade. Come on, man. What are you doing?
If I'm cheating up, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's not good. It's not good to do, and I'm not imploring it. But if you're gonna do it, make it worth it. That's all I'm saying.
Because I didn't expect that we were just gonna see the wife, and I was like, oh wait, dude, what?
He had steak at home, and he went out for
an idiot. Really?
Yeah, the dude had steak at home, and he went out for a cold bologna sandwich with Julie Garner. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you're an idiot. But whatever.
Love plays tricks on the mind, man. Women cloud the mind.
And that is Frank's Obi-Wan Kenobi teachings of the day. Everybody remembers.
That's not even me. That's the line that Michael Shannon has in the funny line that Michael Shannon has in Pearl Harbor. When goes up there to talk to Josh Hartnett's character, he goes, "Women cloud the mind," and everybody looks at him like,
"Well,"
he looks around like he just said something profound, and we're like, "Whatever, dude."
They cloud the mind, and they do other things. If you know what I'm talking about, and I think you do.
But sometimes the mind cloud can be pretty heavy, though. So. We've all had that clouded mind once or twice, so we understand. We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there. But let me.
A pretty girl can make you do stupid things.
Let's go ahead and start wrapping some things up there. Let me get your guys' final thoughts. I'll start with you, Tex. Give me your final thoughts on weapons.
Yeah, I had fun with this one, but I revealed to Frank where it ranked on my top 10 horror of the year. It was not very high on the list, but I don't regret watching this. I had my fun with it. I'd give it like a 6.5. Like, this is something that I don't think I ever need to revisit. And if they never make another one, I'm okay with it. This is kind of on the same level as Barbarian for me, but good acting, some cool stuff, great mood and atmosphere. But overall, I just, whatever. This one's another one that'll come and go, and it's on to the next one. And there was a much better horror film that came out this weekend that I'll be talking about for final recommendations. So I'll leave it at that.
And my friend Jeremy, give me your final thoughts on weapons.
There we go. It's posting. Okay. Yeah, I thought this was intriguing enough, and I thought it was a pretty well-made movie. Kept you going along, feeding you little pieces here and there, and then hit the fucking gas there in the third act, and I was like, oh damn, okay. Because we've said it before, it's like it's one thing to do stuff in movies to like adults, but man, when you start involving kids, especially kids, just like viciously ripping this woman apart in someone's front lawn in broad daylight, I was like, Jesus Christ, deserved, but holy fuck, what was that? Oh god, like I'm trying to remember what that movie was that we watched where like the kid killed the goddamn, he killed the guy with Professor X. Killed him with the fucking brick right to his dome.
Is it recent?
Oh no, was it the Green Room?
No. The one where they meet them on the vacation trip and they like go to their secluded cabin.
You said Professor X. I was thinking of Patrick Stewart.
Green Room has Patrick Stewart in it.
That's why
that's a different thing.
I know. That's why I thought Green Room. Because you said Professor X, I was thinking Patrick Stewart. I wasn't thinking. Yeah, I wasn't thinking.
I was seeing.
Speak No Evil. Speak No Evil.
Yeah, Speak No Evil.
Yeah. Speak No Evil.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The kid had the tongue cut out.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing the kid carry out an act of murder like that, especially.
So. I forgot about that one too. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was brutal. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I had fun with this movie, and honestly, if we do something else in this world, I would watch it. And like I said, Cregger seems like a smart dude. I think with his foresight to say like, hey, no, I'm putting this in
in theaters instead of taking just a little. I mean, $7 million is kind of a little bit of money in that terms, but to me, I mean, I'd be like, oh my god, $7 million. But like I said, he's a smart dude. I think he knows what he's doing and what he wants to make of this. So, be interesting to see where he goes from here.
Yeah, I think this is a really good movie. Like I said, the last two movies that he's been a part of that we reviewed were Companion and this, and I think both those were really interesting stories, very well told. Not the kind of slasher horror that I know Tex likes, but it's a different part of the horror genre that I've always found very interesting.
This is more thriller than horror.
Yeah, it's still a very good movie. Sure. Yeah, I am interested in how much of the sensibilities of this movie and Companion that he's going to take over to something like Resident Evil, because Resident Evil is so much more visual, so much more actiony. So it's going to be interesting to see how his storytelling might expand that world differently than Paul Thomas Anderson did with his films. But I'm interested to see where he goes from here, whatever he does next. He's off to a pretty good start. I mean, this is his second movie he's ever written and directed, and it's not bad. It's actually really, really good. Go see it in theaters if you get a chance. I think it's worth the price of a ticket. Or if you want to wait until it comes out on streaming, that's fine. You're going to enjoy this movie either way. I think the performances are great. I really love the tension that it builds. Again, a little bit choppy in the middle. Kind of the movie starts to hit a couple of weak spots, but it recovers really nicely and then picks the pace back up and onto a really interesting finish. Like I said, I just think the ending was a little abrupt. I would have liked to, instead of had that narration from the kid at the end, maybe had a scene where there was some more dialogue that says where the kids are going, and then maybe the final shot would be of the girl rather than the kid walking, staring into the camera. I don't know. It all worked out in the end. It's a great movie. Go see it. I think it's totally worth the price of a ticket. And if they make a sequel, I'm interested to see what it looks like, but I don't think it's necessary. But thanks to my two co-hosts for being so amazing, as always, starting with the Shape of the Lone Star State, my man Tex. Where can I find you, my friend?
Well, for the recommendations that I was talking about of the better horror movie that came out this weekend, and in my opinion, the best horror film that's came out of this year, I'm talking about Strange Harvest. Now, not enough people saw this movie. Without spoiling anything, it's basically a Zodiac-style serial killer that has a much deeper mythological backstory, very rich, very, very much interesting. The film itself is taught in like a crime, like one of those true crime shows that you'll see on TV or whatever, but it's shot Blair Witch style, and it's done in like the Poughkeepsie tapes or Megan is Missing kind of movie. Very dark. They don't really hold back on a lot of stuff. I would, if there's only one horror movie that I recommend that you go see this year, go see Strange Harvest. I'm sure it's in theater near you. I love this film. Go watch it. And tomorrow, Casey and I are reviewing something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he requested my services, and I'm going to try to make myself available. So maybe I can see how many of those subs are fake and, expose them a little bit. So that'll be fun. So whatever.
1,000 subs, 3 viewers, and 2 of them are going to be from his other channel. That's how it goes.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So.
And my Henry Life, Jeremy, where can the folks at home find you, my friend?
Here Tuesday and Thursday. Thursday, I'm assuming we're doing Apollo 13, given the fact that Jim Lovell, the actual Jim Lovell, passed away recently. So if Thursday's my night to drive the car, I will totally drive that bitch straight to the moon.
We're not driving.
We're not watching Fast and Furious. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm like, I'll go hit up Dom and go get my charger.
Dom Toretto's going to put some rockets on the car. We're flying it right to the moon.
Elon Musk, give me a car to go to the moon or something, man. I don't know.
He sent a Tesla to Mars, so
true.
So
whatever. The moon doesn't seem like that far of a, it's not as far of a drive. So, or flight. I don't know in space terms. So yeah, I'm totally down. That's a fun movie. Good throwback movie since we're doing, I guess. I'm fine with doing throwbacks on Thursdays. That's what the kids do now, right? So we'll do
tacos on Tuesdays and throwbacks on Thursdays.
Yeah, we'll do space stuff on Thursday.
As Jeremy said, you will find at least him, maybe me, I haven't decided yet, and probably Tex, maybe even Brady if he wants to come join. We'll be talking about Apollo 13, the absolute one of the great films from Ron Howard, who is just, I mean, I remember Ron Howard as an actor, of course, and Happy Days and all kinds of stuff. Man, what a job he's done as a director. He's made some of the best films that have come out of the last 20 or 30 years.
I was like, in what decade did that come out in? One more time for the camera.
This came out in the 90s. But like I said, even a blind squirrel finds a net every once in a while.
You notice how Frank didn't put his image up while he said that so he could deny and say it was AI.
Oh, we got the voice. We know it's that.
No, AI didn't exist back in the 90s. It wasn't cool enough. The 90s wasn't cool enough for AI. But
wait. But the 80s was? What are you talking about?
Oh, if we'd had AI in the 80s, we'd have gotten so much fucking trouble.
But the 80s didn't have it either, so what kind of example is that?
No, we didn't have we didn't have the internet in the 80s.
So you weren't cool enough for the internet then? What are you talking about?
It didn't exist.
The 90s barely had the internet.
Yeah, really.
The 90s actually had internet.
I have said it 100 times. If I had a camera phone when I was like 13 years old, I would still be in prison.
God.
I would 100%. I would still be in prison for some of the shit that I would have recorded myself.
I believe that.
It would have been a tough childhood for me. I'm 100% sure of it. But technology came along just the right time for me. I've always told people I was fortunate enough to kind of grow up in between the 80s and 90s because, like, from a societal standpoint, the 80s and the 90s were kind of the peak of society. It seems like once 2000s hit, it's when everything started to kind of go to shit. So I was lucky to have enjoyed
I was there for that.
I swear to God, if you give me a time machine, the first thing I'm doing is I'm putting you guys in it. We're going back to the 80s. We're going to slay, man. We're going to so much fun.
Can we go to 1974 first? Because I want to go to the premiere of Chainsaw. Can we do that first, please?
Oh,
that would be cool.
73 to see Exorcist, then we can wait a year and go see.
Okay.
Cool. True.
But
that's fair.
We must do it at a drive-in. I want to see the premiere at the drive-in.
In Texas. Texas.
Oh, yes.
But
we're gonna pull up in that parking lot with a DeLorean that doesn't exist yet.
We're gonna go back to like 69, steal a VW, like van, go to the drive-in in 74 to watch Chainsaw, and just have the greatest time anybody's ever had. That would be incredible. That's what I do.
I'll bring the armadillo. I'll bring the roadkill.
And bring as much weed as you can get a hold of. We're getting lit, buddy. I'm telling you what, it's gonna.
But yes, you will see us back here in some form on Thursday doing Apollo 13, and we'll probably mention something about the life and work of Jim Lovell, who did pass away. Was it today? I believe it was today or yesterday.
No, it was a few days ago. Because you mentioned this.
Yeah, it was. Somebody else died today. Oh, D. You guys wouldn't know this. This is way before your time. It's slightly before mine. You ever watch What's Happening?
No.
The girl that played Dee, Raj's little sister in What's Happening, one of the great sitcoms of the 70s, she passed away today from cancer at the age of 60. I think 60. Yeah, very, very sad. But one of the shows that I always watched in syndication growing up as a kid. So very sad for her to pass away. But nobody lives forever. So yeah, you will see us back here on Thursday going over Apollo 13. Until then, I want to thank my co-host for being so awesome as usual. I want to thank all of you for being here. Share us around to all your friends. Share us around with people you don't like. Make them sit and watch our bullshit for an hour and 40 minutes. If you hate them, just as long as you're getting us out there to somebody, I'm happy because YouTube doesn't do anything to help us out. YouTube, Rumble, we're actually we weren't live on Rumble tonight because once again, I don't know what the hell's going on with Rumble. I'll have to figure that shit out. But we will see you guys back here on Thursday for Apollo 13. Until then, adios.
Watch your Rosebusters, people. They can be deadly.
I need you guys to go down and donate money so I can go buy subs like Casey does.
That's the difference. We won't buy you.
Well, tomorrow I'll try to steal some of his for us over here. Get him back below 1,000.
You can't steal something that doesn't exist. He bought it.
Maybe
it's a bot farm in India or some shit.
I'll go on his show and I'll say naughty words and I'll get him canceled on YouTube. I can do that.
Oof. I just want to see him apply for monetization. That's going to be a laughable moment. I want to see the look on his face when he gets the email from YouTube saying, "We've reviewed your channel and we're kicking you off the internet. Goodbye."
I can be the harsh truth saboteur is what I can do. Go over to fuck.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.